come around here. So, yeah. Okay. So, hello, Peter. Yeah. Welcome to the meetup. And can you just quickly introduce yourself to the people watching the YouTube?
My name is Babu Pillai, and I'm from Gold Coast. I'm doing my research on blockchain. So mainly, what I'm looking at is interoperability between blockchains. How two blockchains communicate and facilitate exchange of value, assets, things like that. So that is my area of research, and I work under Muthu Kumaraswamy and KB at Interoperable University. So this is a paper which I presented last July at a conference where it was a very initial stage of the research where I came across the problem of interoperability. There's a problem there, but we need to address interoperability. I was looking in the language, then I found out there is a problem where we need to find out what is the thing we're going to interoperate. So that's where the asset class comes in. So we need to have a defined asset class where, okay, this is the asset we're going to interoperate. Based on that, around that topic where this paper came out.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I presented the paper.
Well, hopefully you'll have lots of questions today. All right. So for those watching the YouTube, the talk will start in about 5 to 10 minutes. And see you then. Yeah. So the camera is live, so anything you say will be on YouTube, which is always good to keep in mind. Would you like a glass of some water?
I've only just recently started taking an interest. My background actually so I did that for a while and I slowly started getting interested. How long have you been and you were good research? Yeah, I was actually doing a
because that's really, really bright behind you. Yeah. Hello. How are you? I'm pretty good. Yourself? Yeah. Yes.
We've met a few times at Yale conferences.
Yeah, I was thinking it's something like that. Yeah, couldn't remember it precisely. Oh, so you're going to learn more about blockchain.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Started reading I did BSU last time.
Well, always lots of jobs for Java devs.
I'm mid-hiring for you guys.
I'm just generally interested anyway, so I don't really want to go away and day rewriting, like reading the white papers and stuff. It's very interesting.
Hello.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
James, how's it?
Hi.
Oh, again, we tried once at the supply chain.
Oh,
event that you
yeah.
guys did.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I actually got me out to. This is your regular meetup?
Yeah, this
area?
is a meetup. Yeah, this is where we meet every 2 weeks, and we're up to, I think it was the 47th. It was incredible because I was looking at it. 41st. So I think sometime early next year we're going to hit 50, and I reckon when we hit 50, I don't know, maybe we can
big party.
bring a bottle of champagne or something. 50th meetup. That's got to be a pretty good show.
Do the same thing as usual, but with a bottle of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Explain how champagne relates back to blockchain.
Genuinely regret.
Yeah. So one thing that we've been kicking around is whether we should have another introduction to blockchain talk. So back at the start of 2018 and then at the start of 2019 we had introduction to blockchain talks. And now, start of next year, I think at the start of Feb, my talk on cross-chain transactions is going to be, moderately advanced. And then the next talk, talking about the Ethereum 2 client architecture, is going to be pretty advanced too. So we're trying to work out, should we do an introduction to Ethereum or something, maybe in late January?
I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, especially with getting members as well.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
I'll be giving a talk on for the teachers. We have a teachers conference happening in Kirkuk.
Oh,
I'm
great.
giving a talk on introduction to blockchain.
Oh,
Just on the teachers need to understand what it is on that scale.
Yeah.
But I think that's on December 2nd or 3rd, something like that.
Okay. Well,
2-day conference.
2-day conference.
So they have a STEM teachers conference.
So you've got 2 days to tell them about
No,
blockchain?
just one of the workshops in any of the 2 days, one
Okay.
workshop. Yeah.
I did a talk, blockchain in 15 minutes. And there's even a YouTube video on, in the Ethereum Engineering Group meetup that talks people through everything about, like from zero knowledge to you understand about public-private consensus and the whole lot in 15 minutes.
That's very exciting.
But yeah, it was seems to be good to know. So how long do you have to talk?
I don't know, because I approached and I said yes, and then the schedule will come through.
Okay. Oh. That's great to see that Adrian's going to give a talk on the Artemis architecture in mid-February.
Is it?
Yeah. You'll be able to ask him what's a tricky question.
Yes. Like, what is this now called?
Well,
Because we can't use Artemis.
Yeah. I think he said that it's likely to be renamed before the talk.
I would hope so. Artemis is kind of out now. Well, if you Google Artemis, all you're going to get is NASA stuff. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Big bass, yeah.
Part of the reason why they had to stop. Yeah. We're not doing a fantastic job in naming things. Like Pantheon had to go away because Pantheon exists as well.
Right. Well,
Isn't it like that's the first thing you do is Google a name and? Yeah, when you do an internal project.
we had a
external.
I guess I'm aware that we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
We had a discussion about it. I had some views, but anyway, it's too late.
It's too much.
Anyway, hyperlegibesu.
Hyperlegibesu it is, exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Hopefully no one will come out of the woodwork and say, what's this hyperlegibesu?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think all the due diligence was done on that.
Yeah. Well, that's
Once you get burned with a name once, and then you go out and start looking for validation. And so unfortunately, my previous company's name was chosen because it was absolutely nobody on the planet had a name remotely like that. But I know that a company I'd worked for years ago their product, when it was translated to, I think, Japanese, it didn't make any sense. So the product it was back in the .com days, and it was a content management system called Story Server, as in serving stories. Yeah, they tried to use Story Server, but when it translated, it didn't have the same kind of feel to it, and they couldn't use Story Server in Japan because that didn't work as well, and so they ended up having to come up with a new name. Well, the company's name, sorry, was called Vignette, which is a small story.
There you go. So Story Server worked for English.
Yeah, and it worked well for the company called Vignette. But Vignette didn't work so well in Japan. Because Vignettes didn't make any sense in Japan.
Very soon. All right. So everyone, please grab a seat.
Oh no, I had my foot on the bottom of it.
So, yeah. Hello and welcome everyone. So today, Babu Halal, one day going to be doctor, middle of his PhD, so only how many more years? 2 more years, and then we'll call him doctor. So he's going to tell us all about blockchain, interoperable digital objects. So cross-chain, blockchain sort of stuff. Please take it away.
Okay, I guess it is good afternoon or good morning still. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, as Peter said, my name is Babu Pillai, and I'm doing research at Griffith University, Gold Coast campus, and this is my professor, and this is my supervisor, and this is my associate supervisor. Right? Okay, so my research area is on blockchain interoperability. That means how two blockchains communicate. And exchange, mainly I'm looking at value transfer. How do they transfer value to each other? That is the area of my research. And early on this year I started the research, and this paper I presented this paper July this year at the conference, and this paper came out from the early investigation on the interoperability part. Right? I was looking at interoperability. First of all, we need to figure out what we know we are going to interoperate, what we are going to take from one to another. We need to have at least some classification, some rules there. That is for this paper. So this talk, I'll talk about blockchain interoperability, what is my view and what are the challenges on blockchain interoperability. Then define some goals. What are the goals we're going to do? What are the goals of interoperability we are looking at? We look at challenges and the approaches. Then we go into the asset category. What are the current asset category available? And then we go into the crypto asset category. How do I classify that? That's what it is. Okay. So generally, interoperability means its ability of two systems to communicate each other, and the other system should be able to use the message or information which has been passed. But the challenges or issues or barriers were technical issues, like hardware like issues, they're incompatible with hardware and software issues. That was one of them. Other one was conceptual, where the syntax and semantics were different, two different syntax and semantics issues. And other one would be contextual issues, where dollars in Australian dollars is one, in Australian context is one value, US is different value. These are the kind of issues or barriers we have. We actually solved this using protocols. It's TCP/IP or SMTP. This protocol we used to solve these problems in the past, right? So, what is interoperability mean for blockchains? So it's kind of same, exchanging information and messages each other. The main challenge here is to reach consensus. One thing happening on one chain has to create consider on the other chain. The other chain has to accept it. Other chain, how do the other chain verify? That is the main challenge. So let's look at a little bit of blockchain structure. Blockchain basically is a database that maintained by a network of nodes. And the data, the data or the asset value, whatever we call it, that is represented by the database, right? And the application is exchanging of this value between the users. So it is a network of nodes which carries a value or asset, and the use case will be exchanging of these values, moving around this value. Okay? So the challenge here is it operates like an internet, right? It's a network. It operates like an internet, and interactions are within the system, right? And the value that what create the value exists only in that system. And the nodes can only detect the state of it. Nobody else can. Nodes can only detect the state of it. So enabling interoperability means exchange this value which is created by the network, and the network can only know about it, taking the value from one chain to another. Right? That's the challenge here. So as I said before addressing this challenge, we have to come up with a measure with what we are going to take from one chain to another. Okay? That is what this paper is all about. Okay? Asset class. Okay? As I said before, we just quickly review the goals and some things. The goal of interoperability is mainly two things, my view, right? Exchanging value, taking value from one chain to another. For example, we have a blockchain where asset class like cars or assets registered, and then I will be able to should be able to take that asset from one blockchain to another blockchain. That is one use case. Other one is, before even taking that, I need to verify that whether this asset exists on this blockchain. So two goals, right? Exchange of value and cross-chain verification. These are the two sort of use cases I'm looking at. You know, from a customer point of view, if I'm with a for example, tomorrow this phone company is going into blockchain. Like I'm with Telestra, for example, and I don't like the service. I should be able to take the asset or the value is my phone number. I should be able to take that from one system to another. That is a use case of, from a customer point of view, I should be able to take my asset from one to another. That is what I need. And from an enterprise point of view, companies are not looking at building blockchains. They are adopting blockchains as a platform. You know? And if they adopt one platform today, and then they put all the assets in that, and if platform is not good, they want to change it, they should be able to take that thing and go to another one. You know? So the approaches, there are two main kind of approaches of interoperability. Centralized one, where the exchanges operate at the moment, two independent network of blockchains, and somebody in the center which authenticate things. That is one centralized approach, right? And other one is to decentralize, where it happens automatically through protocols, to smart contracts and other systems. So there are two main category of two approaches, right? And the mechanisms, broadly, like this is my view of where it sits. There are three main type mechanisms which I can see from that research. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And multi-chain model, where two independent blockchains, and they are being facilitated to integrated nodes or decentralized or that sort of mechanism. Right? Two independent chains, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, they are two independent chains. They are hard to interoperate. They are made for that purpose, actually. Those sort of things has been interpreted by different mechanisms. That is one set of things. And connectors can be, Polkadot and Cosmos. They are the kind of connector model where a blockchain or some sort of system sits in the middle. I call it as a mother blockchain. The mother blockchain sits in the middle and then take everything from the other thing and then facilitate. It can be, as Peter was working on something where it is the signature exchanging. It can be signature exchanging or message exchanging. They are the one who is physically database. They can do multiple things, like multiple transactions. Okay, that is another way of another mechanism. And other one is bridges. Bridges is where if I'm connecting to another blockchain, I have a bridge between, we have a bridge between both. And then that bridge may translate the message, authenticate the message to different things. So bridge can connect two blockchains together, right? So this is all from my research. Just to recap that, I talked about interoperability, what is interoperability mean by blockchain and things like that, right? And I talked about goals of interoperability. What are the goals we're looking at? The challenges, the approaches, and mechanisms. So this is all from my research, and this is the area I'm working on. Let's go back to the asset class now, okay? So what are the existing asset class? These are the existing asset class. We have tangible, intangible, and digital object. Okay. Tangible, which we can touch, okay. Physical, existing, okay. Intangible are like digital identities, things like a digital object. Here the digital is the YouTube and the Facebook, those sort of digital. These are the classification of existing asset class. They have certain properties like fungibility and no fungibility. Fungibility means they built with the same standard, right? If I go and deposit $100 in the bank and withdraw from ATM, I get the same value, but not the same one. It is fungible. It is within that it can be changed, right? Non-fungible are unique. Passport, it is unique. Registration, that's unique. That sort of thing. Okay. So these are the property which can go into this category of asset class. Okay. So what I come up with, I divide the asset based on the type and the functionality. Right. So mainly I divide them into three. If I look at many of them, they can fall into any of these categories. Right. So one is crypto coins, asset tokens, and utility tokens. So these three are the main categories which other can fall into. Here the crypto, there is a lot of different places explain crypto in different ways. So crypto coins, what I've been referring to is as a value of exchange. That sort of things are crypto, mean by coins, and tokens are maybe sits on top of that, which has got some specific features. These are the called tokens, right? Okay. So is there any questions so far? So now we'll explain a little bit detail in each one of them. So crypto coins, these are used as a medium of exchange, or native coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum. These are the kind of crypto coins which I'm looking at. Like even so this the concept of native coins. So the concept of native coins is in the blockchain system is built in a way that you need to have some sort of native coins running. That stays in that system only. That is what is the concept of native coins, which stays in that code. So this is crypto coin, and asset tokens are mainly created on top of it, representing a digital object. So if you have a asset which sits, it can sit on top of that coin, and that crypto coin can be within the system. It cannot be taken out, but that asset, once you burn that asset, we can take that asset out. So this sits on top of it. As the crypto coins, we assume the crypto coins, that native coins, we cannot be taken out. It is within the system. We cannot take it out from it. Right? That is the concept of.
So these would be asset-based tokens. So for instance, like if you've got one of those currencies where it's essentially US dollars represented as of 2020, is that what you mean by that? Or I see you've got CryptoKitties, so
CryptoKitties is
so that's non-fungible, isn't it?
So that actually it sits on top of the coins.
Yeah.
You mean stable coin? stable
Yeah,
coin.
yeah, yeah.
That's
But-
effectively-
Yes, that's, yeah, asset base, that's totally, such as, stable money. Yeah.
So this the main asset class like looking at is the identity of cars, passports, so those sort of things fall into this category of crypto asset tokens, right? And next one is utility tokens, which is a kind of coin which is represent as unit of product or service, kind of things like the ICOs can be kind of that sort of thing, which is service kind of thing. Okay, so these are the three categories which I have defined, which many of them fall into. So if you look at the chart from the existing category, that was the existing category, tangible, intangible, digital, and then we have the crypto, coins, asset tokens, and utility. They are all actually represented in digital form right now. Okay, so everything is digital. Now what I'm going to look at is these coins what we defined, we map into the goals and the things we defined before and see how that falls into place, right? That's okay. So we have crypto coins. They are intangible and fungible. So that's the property that they can go. And then if you look at the centralized approach, it can be done, the cross-chain transfer. So cross-chain transfer, if you look at cross-chain transfer, to centralized approach, exchanges are the main way of doing it, can be done. If we can look at the decentralized approach through the exchange of mediums such as multi-signature or kind of things like that, there should be a provider which they can take both and then, for example, liquidity provider has to take both and then exchange them through the system. Even if you come up with a system, the system should have the liquidity to take both and then give it. What exchange is doing? Exchange is buying Bitcoin, giving you Ethereum. So that's kind of liquidity provider. But if you're having a system which provides that, system should have both the liquidity to do that. Right? And in future, like if both the system will have same value, then we might be able to look at a way of exchanging this one, burning in one and doing in one, that sort of things are we looking at. Validating again to centralized, it's easy through a notary sort of thing. Decentralized approach, relay chains are a good one for decentralized approach. Relay keeps a header of the other chain, and then the nodes can verify that. The future, there will be more Web3 and API access verification to the system where you can just access to the system through the APIs and things like that. Asset tokens. Asset tokens will have more properties. Tangible and fungible asset tokens, which are 20 tokens, and tangible and not fungible tokens, which are 21 tokens, which is unique in the passports and the stock exchange are unique. So if you're looking at cross-chain transfer, again centralized approach can be through intermediaries where they verify that one thing happened on another chain or burning to another chain, and then creating another chain, that sort of thing. Decentralized approach, if the asset represents the same thing, then it is a matter of working out the model of the one we said before, bridges or the connectors model, to burn it on one of them or approve another one and take another one. That sort of model. Okay. Future, we look at more standards come out so that it is easy to do things as you go. Verification, centralized through notaries. Again, relay chains will be better way for verification. Web3 and API access for verification. Right. Utility tokens. Utility tokens are intangible and non-fungible. You can argue that they can have more functionality, but for this sort of scenario, we're looking at intangible and non-fungible. And the centralized approach is actually not made for really for transfer as of now. I was thinking about centralized approach can be done if both the system has the same sort of utility they're looking at. It is not directly transferred, as I said. If it is a direct or indirect, is not really looking at interoperability in that sense. Okay. Otherwise, both systems should have some sort of functionality. And in the future, the cross-chain bridges and gateways will be able to build in to do this one in the future. Okay. And verification also same, centralized through notaries, cross-chain bridges, API, and things like that. Okay. So what I categorize based on the functionality for the purpose of interoperability. So mainly that's what I categorize them. This actually, I was thinking this will give you a clear view on what, when we're working on interoperability, we can clearly come up with what are we going to working on, what are we going to interoperate. That will give you a clear view of what is going to be interoperable. So future work on this paper will be, there are more categories, there are many things comes under that. Looking into more defined category on that one. Addition property, divisionability, I didn't count on divisionability, it can be divisionable, that's a big property which will be good. That sort of property and detailed analysis of use case. In each use case, how does that one work? So those are the future works on this.
So when you're talking about divisibility, is that say I've got a coin, say a token on one chain, say I'm going to say the token represented this room, and then I wanted to on another chain be able to break that coin up and say, all right, we've got multiple tables in this room, and I want to be able to have individual ownership of the tables. Is that what you want to mean?
Yeah. So how much it can divide, that sort of thing. It's again going back to the use case, where what sort of use case we're looking at, and that sort of takes the
I thought the case would be more looking at the supply chain aspect. You've got a pound of meat, metric ton of meat, and you're slicing it up to various suppliers and so on. But there's the other aspect of the smart contractor might have delivered it, and however that gets divisioned up.
Yeah, see, a lot of things comes into, minor things will come into the use case where what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? That's where it's all going for.
Yeah.
And these are some references, and thank you. And this is the next talk.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. So thank you for giving us some thoughts on digital assets and interoperability between chains. So I'll talk about what's coming up next. So David was going to deliver this talk in 4 weeks' time, and so he's off in Japan at the moment giving another talk, but he's not going to be in Brisbane on the 27th. So he has said, hey, Harafio, how'd you like 2 more weeks to try and learn all about writing precompiles and JSON RPC calls? And Harafio popped a champagne cork and said, woohoo! So we've switched talks around. So David is going to talk about some radical new technology that he's come up with, or we've come up with, which changes IoT. So you can do 2-factor authentication for IoT, in particular high-value stuff. So imagine you've got a nuclear missile there, and someone hacks into the system, and they go, launch. Wouldn't it be good if that IoT device needed 2FA to make sure it really should start flying off and doing something bad? I mean, or similarly, you've got a satellite and you tell it to deorbit. Wouldn't it be good if you had 2FA before it started changing where it was going, or anything bad like that? He's come up with a way which uses blockchain to provide 2-factor authentication. It's very impressive.
That's based on the C725 chapters.
Nothing. No, it's nothing. No, that's not a token related thing.
Oh, okay, just,
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, I haven't even thought about the RC things that might be related. Yeah. And then in 4 weeks' time, Horacio is going to talk about, so you've got an Ethereum client and you've got your favorite pet precompile that you've always wanted to have in an Ethereum client. And, or maybe you think, wouldn't it be good to be able to query the Ethereum client and ask it some questions that you can't currently ask. In particular, if you're a university researcher and you want to look at some special aspect, like of the system, for instance, which nodes out there support which protocols. So maybe some of these things aren't available at the API at the moment. You want to write your own JSON RPC API, or maybe you want to write a precompile. So Horacio is going to tell us all about how to do that in a nice, straightforward way, such that everyone in this room will understand. Yeah.
No pressure at all.
No. And then in 6 weeks' time, I'm going to tell us about Ethereum reorgs, forking, and selfish mining, and all the complexity related to that. And yeah, I thought I sort of understood this, and then about 3 months ago, I started looking at it a little bit closer, and I went, I have no idea what I'm talking about. And so it's a really complex subject, so I'm going to try and make it really simple, which will be a challenge. Then we're all going to go on a break, and then sometime before February there is going to probably be another talk in here, which is going to be Introduction to Ethereum. Because we did a very quick straw poll before lots of people turned up this morning, or this today, and said, who thinks we should do an Introduction to Ethereum talk sometime at the start of 2020? And there was a general yes. So that's going to happen probably 2 weeks before that. And then I'm going to talk about, some of us have been working on some new technology which allows you to do composable programming. So, you know, you're used to having a Solidity contract, have a function which just calls another Solidity contract, and you know, you can write some code. You can put these little boxes of programming logic together and have a program. So we've been working on cross-chain stuff to allow you to do an application calls a function in a contract in one chain, which calls a contract in a function in a contract in another chain, and say maybe reads a value, maybe is able to do an update and have that atomic update. And so that atomic capability and that composability, that is why, and that synchronous, let's do this all together, is why Ethereum has been so popular. So we've got some technology which, at least for private chain, will allow you to do it. And so we are very busily, intensively working on getting this working. And it's nothing like thinking you're going to be in front of a YouTube video camera, live streaming to the internet, to think, we've really got to get this working before February 5th with sample code, the whole lot. So we're going to have it working. And then 2 weeks after that again, Adrian, who is not here today, is going to tell us about the Ethereum 2 client architecture, which the people in Pegasus and Consensus are working on. And rumour has it from Brett over there, and I think Adrian mentioned it as well, that Artemis is not going to be the name by the time we're at February 19th. It's going to have some other name.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that's in here is on December the 10th, the Symposium on Distributed Ledger Technology number 4 is going to happen. The venue, I think, is being finalised in the next day or two, but that will be like a blockchain conference symposium here, either in Brisbane or the Gold Coast, or maybe somewhere in between at Nathan Campus, Griffith University. So that would be 1 day. I think it's only going to be $50 or $100 registration fee, so not a lot. And you know, it's good to have a lot of different talks on blockchain, get a lot of different perspectives.
It will have a mix of technical and business case as well, so there is looking at.
Yeah. So, yeah. So thank you again, Barbara, for coming along up from the Gold Coast. Yeah. I think we've all learned a lot, and thank you. So, are there any questions before we all rush off? I know you're all busting to ask some complicated questions, especially Richard there.
like me to ask them?
Yeah, why not?
So is this your definition of those assets, or is it a broadly accepted definition?
It is, I looked at a lot of places and then come up with this thing, and then a lot of people talking about different things will fall into that category of what I'm talking about.
How do you get standards across those? As to who recognises what? Different countries, different jurisdictions.
Standards are hard. I'm on the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, Enterprise Ethereum Alliance cross-chain interoperability standards group, and it's going to take a while, I think.
Because a lot of people working on here, they come up with a concept and they wanted to launch their own thing, and they're going with their own thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking at enterprise of companies coming up. That's why there's a lot of blockchain coming up. I come up with, I have no idea. I need my own blockchain. I create something different to the other one, and
Well, certainly my hope is that we're going to, our group will come up with that cross-chain methodology, and then when someone dreams up their new blockchain, they'll keep in mind that they need to be compatible with this cross-chain mechanism, so that then their chain, by definition and by default, will support cross-chain. So that then when they create their chain, it lives for a while, and then no one decides to use it. Everyone can get their data off the chain.
Yeah, I think the concept of the mechanism which I talked about, the bridges, if I'm coming with a blockchain, I create a bridge, I should be able to compatible with many other things, and then that's it. And anyone comes in, and they can be connecting to the bridge. It's like an API kind of thing. So that is where we should be looking at. Rather than everybody should be in their own thing. Now, I have to make my own gateway or the bridge.
Yeah.
It is not compatible with anyone else, things like that. So that is what the generalized category, that three model which I defined.
Maddie, I can see you're busting. You've got a question too.
Just within the scope of your definition of the various classes, what is a working example of a utility token out there at the moment?
Any example?
Yeah, like a working deployed example at the moment.
Anyway, I see a few people laughing in the back. No.
Service, I mean, in service, really.
Yeah, well,
the differentiation between the asset and
so an
utility.
asset-based token, you've got people who are doing gold-based ones or US dollar-based ones.
Yes.
And given Sally was saying asset-based tokens and
the other day I heard about
stable. But there's a stable coin. I'm trying to think of there's a massive one where people use it all the time. It's billions of dollars a day. It's essentially they quickly buy some Tether. Yeah, they buy a whole heap of Bitcoin, and then they hope that the price goes up, and they quickly go back to Tether, and they swap their money back to Tether, and then they then think, it's going to go up again. They quickly get some Bitcoin, and then it hopefully goes up, and they quickly swap back to Tether.
So that's an asset token though?
Yeah, well it is.
Then is a utility token something like Sia coin or storage that's like distributed cloud storage?
It's where you buy some utility from a blockchain system,
Yeah.
and then that is being slowly.
I always think of utility tokens as being a bit like buying, I don't know, a JB Hi-Fi card, where you can spend $50 buying something, and you're essentially paying for the privilege that you'll be able to use that in the future. So I know actually way back, 2 years ago almost, we had someone on and they had a computer game company, and you could pay for computer games using Ethereum, and essentially you could buy their coins to buy the right to buy access to a computer game. And Brett's going,
I'm trying to remember, no, I can't.
it was one of the lightning talks right at the start.
That's what I said.
There's
Those are not
an engine
interoperable, they are made
coin
for
that
access.
supposedly you can buy assets within gameplay and melt down and reforge that they're trying to push in through Unity and Unreal game development platform. Well, the engine, ENGIN, is JIN. It's different, so I don't know if that, I have trouble with the utility definition as opposed to representation.
Well, and the thing is that a lot of the people who did an ICO and said, oh, we're issuing a whole heap of utility tokens, have now been viewed by various, people, government agencies as actually being asset-based tokens, and you're selling essentially part of your equity of your company. And I think I don't think anyone tries to do utility tokens anymore because generally they're not. And I think if you had Adrian, who's got a surname, who's a lawyer in Brisbane.
Adrian,
Yeah. Oh, anyone get the surname? Odd mob lawyers.
That distinction can be slightly confusing.
Well, he always says that with a utility token, one of the big things is that it cannot go up in value.
Okay.
So if you buy a $10 utility token, it's worth $10 of JB Hi-Fi stuff, it can't somehow or other appreciate in value. And when people are doing ICOs and issuing all these utility tokens, the whole idea is that they are going to go up in value because you're saying, I'm selling you the right to use my service in 3 years' time, and in 3 years' time, it's going to cost $1 bazillion to use my service, so I'm going to give it to you for 10 cents now.
That's a great distinction.
Yeah.
If that's what it is.
Well, he's a lawyer.
Yeah, but that's a very clear distinction then.
Yeah.
They also get upset if you can exchange it for dollars, if you can exchange a utility token or an exchange will exchange it for something else. They think it's more than a utility. ASIC would say that's more than a utility token because you can get, it's going to get value out of it.
Change different things.
So what happens when you buy 20,000 kilowatts of electricity as a utility token?
Oh, okay.
And then
you
you hold on it, and the cost of electricity now keeps on going up.
But it's sort of like you're buying a derivative or a futures. A futures.
Also, you're a derivative trade.
Yeah, because you're saying I'm buying, because a futures is you're saying I want to buy wheat at this price. But I want, and so you're pre-buying it.
To put a spanner in the works, would a coin that is issued as a verified credential be a utility token?
Yeah.
So, as a part of my degree, my wallet receives a token that is issued by the university saying that you have this degree. Would that be a utility token?
Well, that's non-fungible as a starting point. So normally all of these things are fungible. So fungible, it's an interchangeable coin. So as Barbara was saying, you deposit $100, you get another $100. So it's $100. All the notes are the same, so it's fungible. Whereas a non-fungible, everyone has their own. You have your qualification, in fact, I was interested. You had cars as fungible, and I was thinking
again that is looking at differently. We can put in a car category.
I guess I'm thinking though, as soon as you put a number plate on that car and you buy that car for the first time, it feels very non-fungible to me because it's my car, and if someone scratches the outside of it or anything happens to that car, it's still my car, and I can't go and say, hey, Subaru dealership, here's my fungible car, can I get a new one?
It is again breaking down to what sort of use case we're looking at. If you look at the car category, and then individual car, they're different.
Joshua was talking there, he was saying some question that he was busting to us.
I would like that.
That's
you want that fungible car?
It's very nice.
All right, so look, thank you everyone for coming along. It's been great, and it really shows as well, keeping those questions ready to go is good because the conversation can be, well, not as interesting, but certainly add to the talk. So thank you everyone.